They are now Australia's most populous state on Wednesday passed sweeping new gun and anti-terror rules following the mass shooting on Bondi Beach, tightening firearm ownership, banning public display of terror symbols and strengthening political power to curb protests. The New South Wales State Parliament passed this terrorism and other legislation amendment bill early morning after the upper house approved the bill by 18 votes to 8 during an emergency sitting. I have Aditya with more information. Now, Aditya, any which way the gun laws in Australia were very stringent, but now with this passing of the new law, what more can you tell us?
Well, absolutely. These new laws, gun laws in Australia will definitely be now more stricter and harsher because considering the cowardly terror attack that happened at the Bondi Beach during the Hanukkah Jewish festival has created a very, very controversy across Australia. And, in one of the press briefing, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu clearly pointed out the fact that, he had warned the Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese of controlling this thing, and he had already warned that this thing could happen, that a terror attack could happen in Australia on the Jewish community. So now indeed due to the global international pressure, the Australian government, particularly the Australian government has gone ahead with passing with tightening these gun laws across Australia, and definitely it is a very, very chaotic situation at this juncture, and it needs to be seen how things unfold going forward in this scenario. It is expected that more Australian states, like Melbourne and Victoria, Queensland will follow this implementation of these stricter gun laws across Australia. Yes, Vaishali.
All right, thanks, Aditya. Now I have my guest joining me on the broadcast, Ambassador KP Fabian, who's a former diplomat. Ambassador Fabian, welcome. And of course, now we already know that gun laws were very stringent in Australia. We've been discussing that previously. But now, of course, there has been a law which has been passed making making the fact that owning a gun would even be tougher now. What would you like to say on that?
Thank you. It's like this. You said that the gun laws were very stringent in Australia. That's correct. But they were not properly enforced. And that is why a man could get 6 guns, as you know, in the case of that Hanukkah murder. So they were not properly enforced, and they need to be enforced. That's the first point. Second point is that even now it says that one can have up to 4 guns. Of course, I can understand a farmer having more guns. Because the farmer will have a wide area to look after, so might need more guns. But I don't understand why a person should need 4 guns. And another point I want to make is that if they are serious about it, they should get all the guns already issued back and then reissue them. Looking at the person, the background and all that. As I said, it has not been properly enforced. So in order to correct the weak enforcement, the best thing would have been to get the guns back from everyone and then reissue as necessary.
Ambassador Fabian, now do you think that the current gun laws now in Australia could also impact gun laws in other countries as well?
Pardon, what's the question?
Ambassador Fabian, I'm asking you basically that, now of course, as we're seeing, Australia has passed a law when it comes to its gun laws, but do you think that this could impact gun laws in other countries as well?
I would say that in general there is need for stricter gun laws. And when you say other countries, above all in the United States.
Absolutely, Ambassador Fabian, that's a fair point. The US, of course, is a country which should make its